everyone, it's Reverend Lucy coming to you from High Banks Metro Park in Columbus, Ohio again. And today is a beautiful morning. Winding up coming earlier in the morning to get here before it gets way too hot. And so it's a glorious morning. The birds are chirping and having a great time, and I hope you see the sun at my back. The light here at this time of day is absolutely magical. Loving it. And I guess that's part of the message that I have for you today. As I was driving here, I was stopped at a red light, second light before I got to the park, but I was on the border of the park boundaries, and I was stopped at the light, and all of a sudden I noticed some movement out of the corner of my eye, and I look over and there's a rabbit, and it came out of the woods and it came around and it made a big oval and then went back into the woods. It was long enough for me to notice it and to look and to enjoy it and to be in that space of, oh, look, it's a rabbit, yay, and to feel its magical properties. I always feel like rabbits are magical. But to see it, to notice it, to feel it, to giggle because here's a rabbit, and just totally enjoying that space, that moment, that energy, that message. And so I get to the park and I'm sharing that experience with my walking partner. And as we're walking, we've been here probably about 45 minutes by now, and walking on the trail, not quite halfway to what we'll do today for walking. And already within the park, we've seen 3 additional rabbits. And how amazing is that? We even at one point the rabbit was stopped on the side of the trail, and we stopped and started taking pictures. And there was a group of 3 ladies coming in the opposite direction, and I held up my hand, and they stopped. They stopped talking. They stopped walking. And they were sharing this moment with us about this rabbit, and he was chewing, and you could see his jaws just going. It was so adorable. It was so wonderful and magical and enjoyable to share that with other people as well. And just to my surprise, they honored my request to hold for a minute. And so they're probably giggling about it now, about how silly we were, but that's okay. That's fine. They got to enjoy that moment, and I'm so pleased and honored that that happened. But anyway, so then we've seen 3 in the park and had to stop, take this moment. We're a little bit off trail, but wanted to collect the light and the birds and this beautiful magical moment to talk with you about the message of the rabbit. And so how amazing is that rabbits are just jumping out everywhere today. Rabbits to me symbolize fertility and abundance. I really like that message. We are at our center, our spiritual center, Spiritual Horizons, we're incredibly fertile. We've planted a garden this year for the first time. Well, we've only been in existence about a year, but our garden has been planted, and it's incredibly fertile. The plants are growing. It seems every seed we planted has sprouted. And in fact, just yesterday we had to cull some plants because there was just literally no room for them, for the other plants to blossom. And even though they're all trying that. So the vegetables are coming, the plants, the herbs, everything is just blooming and blossoming, and to the point where we have to pull some out and make room for the ones who are just coming in. And so we're so fertile there that's a wonderful, to me, a confirmation of how fertile we are at our spiritual center. And abundant. The abundance of harvest is coming. We're already starting to harvest many things, typical things, tomatoes, zucchini, that kind of stuff. But gosh, once the green beans start getting picked, we're just gonna have bushels of them. So fertility and abundance is the message of the rabbit, and I'm so grateful to the rabbit for confirming that. Always a great position to be in where you have an overflow and are then in the position of thinking about, gosh, what do we do with all of what we have? We have so much. And I want to encourage you to think about all that you have and how much you have. And what do you do with so much that you have? It's a different place to be in when you can take that perspective on what you have in your life. The other piece of this I want to touch on before I conclude is the idea that in total, so far today, we've seen 4 rabbits. And 4 is a message to me. When I see it, I think about firm foundation. So to me, that means we've laid a firm foundation for fertility and abundance to just blossom and erupt all over the place. So wonderful confirmations, wonderful message. I'm just so in the joy of that, and so wanted to share that with you, and also come back to this idea of looking at all of what you have in your life, and what are you doing with it to share it, essentially. So that's my message for today. Bye for now.